Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are talking about Marvel's latest TV show, Secret Invasion. Full spoilers, I'm going to talk about everything that happens in this show, so if you have not seen it yet or do not care for spoilers, just be well aware that I'm going to just talk about all of it because at the end of the day, I don't think it's worth your time. So what happened, I was reviewing all these Marvel shows and movies and then I left for 5 minutes and everything fell to pieces. Man, Phase 4 of the MCU sucked and Phase 5 is not faring any better at the moment. Because while we've got solid films like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, they don't feel special to me. They're not knocking it out of the park, giving me something fresh. It just feels like another good film to the collection. That's what it feels like. And Secret Invasion is another Marvel show that has fallen into the category of, oh my god, we have another bad Marvel show that just feels obligatory because if you miss anything, you might miss out on what the hell is going on. So where do I start? The beginning of the show, I was a little invested, and then when Maria Hill died, I went, okay, this is gonna go some Winter Soldier, spy espionage, take this seriously because we just had that character we've known since 2012, maybe further earlier, I can't remember, but we've had a character that we've known for 10 plus years die. Maybe not super important to the plot and the bigger scale of the MCU, but still someone we've known for a long time, so okay, the show was switched on. Take this seriously, we have something to tell here. This might be the first chapter of finally bringing the Skrulls to a bigger stage, because I'm a nerd, I grew up reading this stuff, I love all of it, and the Skrulls are such an exciting storyline, and they've just been shafted movie after movie after movie, tease after tease, into the worst thing ever for the MCU. But Maria Hill's death, for me at least, set the stakes. This is important. This is actually going to matter. A little later, the whole show goes through a tone shift. It stops being spy espionage and becomes something else entirely, and then changes into something else, and I guess, more than anything, this show doesn't know what it wants to be. The pillars of what make a show aren't there. The actual skeleton of this thing. Because it's got some good acting, some good dialogue, and that's great, but when it's about nothing, it doesn't really amount to much. I think what really frustrated me was that it barely taps into the potential of the Skrulls and Secret Invasion, what the show is named after, even though of course they couldn't do the grand scale of what was in the comic books. They still didn't utilize anything. It feels like the bare minimum sprinkled on top of the same formulaic Marvel show we have been regurgitated for years now. Likeable lead, everything else is who cares. We have another villain of the week that you're gonna end up forgetting. We've got side characters that aren't really important, but we're gonna try and tell you they're important because in 5 movies' time, then they'll finally be of some sort of use. I stuck with it, and I've stuck with the MCU for a long time because I have loved what they've done, and it's really getting so corporate. The problem with all of this is it went from quality to quantity. Instead of a few projects with a lot of quality, we're going to focus on pumping out more shows and the quantity disregarding the quality. And the oversaturation means that everyday people are just struggling to keep up with it. It's getting to a point now where it's like, do I need to watch this show? Because it doesn't feel like it's actually going to be that important to the overall arcing plot of what they're trying to do. Although they announced 2 Avengers films down the pipeline to say, hey, we do have a plan, and I am excited to see what it is that they're going to try and do, these really feel inconsequential to everything that's to come. I'm a fan sitting here with his fingers crossed hoping that this might have one little Easter egg or payoff to come later down the line. But I doubt it because this show ends where it began. My big problem is the finale. And I think a lot of people agree with me. Because the finale said, that's spy espionage, or maybe even guessing who's a Skrull and who isn't, and that kind of dynamic, throw that away. We're becoming a final act CGI fight with characters you do not give 2 shits about, with some horrendous CGI. Sam Jackson just gets sidelined and more or less, yeah, ends where it began. He came from a UFO just to go back to a UFO, and I suppose marriage with a Skrull is what we're supposed to take away from it? What? The CG was so bad, it was laughable. If you've seen Drax's arm on Emilia Clarke, what? The only thing the show kind of had going for it was the Skrull reveal of Rhodey being a Skrull, but then that retroactively destroys that character. They haven't done the reveal in a way that it's really going to matter or be important to anything in the future, but more see, twist, that's going to change things that you've already seen. Supposedly, Rhodey has been a Skrull since the events of Civil War, which means Infinity War and Endgame when he was there and Tony died, Rhodey wasn't even there. This Rhodey has no recollection of any of that shit. Apparently. They can chop and change it if they feel like it, because nothing's ever explicitly said. They don't give you any resolution. They just have Rhodey kind of get out of whatever situation he was stuck in and then pushed off screen and whatever. Because the care is gone. It's become so corporate. This money-making machine that is the MCU. Gone are the days of James Gunn with a vision of a new idea and a new identity for what a superhero film can be. The experimental days. It's done. Another thing they tried doing is having Talos die, but really, who cares? I like Ben Mendelsohn, but the character is what? Not even two-dimensional, these characters are one-dimensional, and they try to give them the most forced backstory that you expect. Oh, Emilia Clarke's his daughter, and we're going to try have them sit at a park bench to grow some sort of dynamic, because there's nothing else. I don't feel any of it. Sam Jackson does what he does, and as great as he is, not even he could save this. The last episode ultimately just made this whole show feel redundant. Like, what is the point? None of this matters. We're just going to re-loop back to where we were before. There isn't even a tiny bit that's like, hey, we're really going to switch up things from here on out. And it was important to watch this show because at least you got that bit of information. Sam Jackson just goes back to space. How is this going to change much of anything? The only thing we really learned is that there's more Skrulls than what we thought on Earth, which could have been whatever number we imagined anyway. I don't know. I'm a fan, and so I'm frustrated. Like a lot of people are frustrated. For me, it's harsh, but there's just not many redeeming qualities to this. For me, Secret Invasion is going to get a 2 out of 10. That's by far the lowest I've rated a Marvel project. At least one in the MCU. I'm not sure if I've talked about many Marvel projects outside of the MCU, which I'd love to do in future, so if you haven't already, consider subscribing. If I reach 1,000 subs, I'll be pulling apart everything on this shelf, so you're going to get to hear me talk about all sorts of movies in one big collection video. It's going to kill me, but I'll do it for you guys if you can get us there. What did you think of Secret Invasion? Was there anything here that I've missed that you wanted to hear me talk about? Just let me know down below. I kind of just wing it sometimes. I don't have scripts, I just have general outlines and go on tangents, so I miss things. If you've made it to the end of the video, you're a bloody legend. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.